good morning. We are going to start off in a bit to the arena for HYROX Paris. We have, in great Parisian style, had a croissant and a baguette for breakfast. I'd be completely lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I am so nervous. We've just been talking then, and I think I just need to have confidence and remember I am in just as much right to be there as everybody else. I think in the back of my head I like downplay a lot of my achievements, and I think that's my biggest issue, is that I don't sit in my achievements enough. So I think maybe potentially that makes me feel like I'm not as good as I am. Realistically, I do train really fucking hard and I do deserve to do well, and I think I need to remember that. So this is your sign. If you are nervous to push yourself out your comfort zone and do something hard, fucking do it, because you will never ever regret it. So I'm about to fully get ready. Oh my God, the shower is the main character right now. But this is my outfit: TMF bra, red shorts. These are from TikTok Shop. I love racing in these shorts because they're just super comfy. They don't really ride up too much. And I've got my ESN socks on. Find me the man I need. So we've got the TMF bra, of course, the red TikTok Shop shorts from the famous reel. Represent 247. Represent Puma DV83s, ESN socks, ESN arm. ESN arm.
Standard edition.
Ponytail we've gone for. What do we reckon? Usually I go for a bun, but I've got slightly shorter hair, so I'm thinking that it's not going to be too much of an issue. And we've got Represent 247. Red on shorts. Love these shorts on Liam. Same shoes, red on socks, and red on hat. And a 247 headband, but you can't see it. Really putting the location to test now. Apparently it's only a 10-minute walk, so we shall see. Oh gosh. I was like, yeah, I don't need joggers, it's not that cold. So I've brought loads of unnecessary shit, and I've not brought any joggers to cover my legs. I know it's not like me at all, just to bring loads of unnecessary stuff. I overpack, that's just what I do. This is where we are currently. Wonder what the weather's like in the UK. It's probably fucking better than it is here. Paris really resembles the UK in a lot of ways, but also doesn't in a lot of ways. I said that about Geneva, I said it's like Manchester. Ooh, that's cool. Ooh. It's like an interesting setup. It loses a point for being hard to find.
Yeah.
So it gets a point for this cool roof. So we've got 50 minutes until Liam. An hour, no, 2 hours and a half till me. 2 hours and a half. I can't speak today. 2.5 hours until Pom 1.
So the blue one, you go inside or outside. And the gray is for the race. Yeah, perfect. Sorry for that, but don't worry. Apparently it's a pretty fast course. It comes out of the rock zone pretty seamlessly into the run, which is pretty good. We can see here. Then it is a third time you see the end. And when you come out, it goes basically directly onto the run. It's a 3-lap course, which I don't mind. I think it's alright to pace yourself like that. And then I'm on at 2:40, so pretty soon after Liam's finished, I'll be on. So pretty much as soon as Liam's finished, I'll just be warming up a little bit after, because I like to pretty thorough warm up, make sure I stretch, activate, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Hello!
Sorry. Bye.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I've done you some good content.
Nice.
Everyone's loving it. So I'm going to give you your phone. And you're gonna love it. Love it. Oh, you're dying.
No, I slowed down at the end.
And bye.
Nice, that's it. Take your time, take your time. Nice, solid, solid. Nice, Tash, keep this pace. Really good, really good. Solid. Nice, Tash, solid, let's go. Really good, come on, do really well. Go, Tash, take your time, yeah? Let's go, take your time. Nice, all the way, yeah? That's it, nice. Solid, solid. Move it out of the way to the right, yeah? Move the rope.
Et je peux vous dire que la catégorie féminine elle arrive en bombe. Ça court très très vite. On les voit passer très très vite.
Ouais. Let's go, Tash! Nice, let's go! Chill. Yeah. Relax. Relax, not rush it, yeah? We'll make up more time on the farmers and the lunges, yeah? You're not beautiful. That's okay. You're flying. What? No. Tash, nice! Moving quick, solid, let's go, let's go! Let's go, Tash, come on, fast feet, nice, you can, come on, stop saying you can, come on! I know, you got this, come on! Let's go, Tash, come on, we need to make time up. That's it, grip and rip, let's go, come on! Nice! Nice, Tash, let's go, come on! Solid, shake your hands out, shake your feet out, come on, go again! Let's go, Tash, it's in your head, yeah? Strong! Let's go, strong, come on. Nice, let's go, let's go. Nice, Tash, all the way, come on. Last bit, come on. Go, Tash, nice. Come on. Come on. Lightweight for you this, you got this, take it steady. Come on, nice. Nice, let's go, solid. Keep that there, come on. Let's go, Tash, come on. You are, come on. Come on. Let's go, come on. Whether you make it or not, you might still get a podium, it doesn't matter. Just keep going as fast as you can. Come on. You're going fast, you're the first in your wave. Nice, Tash, let's go. Tash, let's go, let's go! Woo!
Right, hello. So the last that you would have seen of me would have been me finishing my race in Paris. In probably not the best of spirits, but like everything, hindsight is 2020 and we're going to talk about it. To cut a long story short, the last few weeks have been a little bit all over the place for me. If you follow me on Instagram, which you should, you will have seen I have just left Face to Face PT and I am going traveling halfway across the world and moving my business fully online, which I've basically been doing for the last year. So there was a lot of anxiety around that, a lot of anxiety about the race If I'm honest, it probably shouldn't have been a race that I did. We booked Paris before we ended up booking Thailand. And there's just been a lot going on, and I think that really, really hindered a few different things. One, and the main one being my appetite. I really, really struggled to eat in the weeks and the days, especially leading up to HYROX and the days after. I barely ate anything, and I just feel like that left me feeling very empty towards the middle of the race, which would have been just before getting on the rower. When you are fueling for your HYROX race, do make sure that you have a good source of protein and a high amount of carbs. Okay, if you don't pair your carbs with protein, you will kind of hinder the effect of slow release of energy. If you have protein in your earlier meals through the day, it will kind of help the energy be a little bit steadier. I made that mistake of basically not being able to stomach anything, and I had a baguette and a banana. So if you can learn anything from this, is just make sure that your pre-race nutrition is in a good place. And again, racing should be fun. I think it shouldn't be something that's causing you a lot of stress, because I think it was a bit of a hindrance, like I said, at the time of my life. I did plan on just enjoying it. That's why I didn't kind of give up at the row. I was like, do you know what, like I still want to experience the race. That being said, it probably was a little bit of a push for me to do it, just with everything going on. So just to give a little bit of background on my kind of HYROX journey, my first original pro race was in 2023, and I got an hour and 31 in my pro race. My first solo was Glasgow 2024, and I got an hour and 24. My most recent open solo was in Cardiff, and I got an hour and 8, which I think that just shows how much better I have actually got. And in my Paris race, I got an hour and 19, which was not a PB, because my race prior to that in Barcelona earlier this year, I got an hour and 17 with an average run of around about 5 minutes. But in Paris, I had an average pace of about 4:50, so I've definitely got a lot faster. It was, I think, just literally I started to peel off towards the back. So I'll talk you through my splits, and then I'll tell you how I kind of felt throughout. Just bearing in mind, obviously, what I said about the fuel situation, you can probably see in my splits whereabouts things started to go wrong. But I had a really strong start, which is really annoying, because obviously a lot of people say, yeah, don't go out too hot, don't go out too hot. So it does look a little bit like I just went out a bit too hot. However, I always do that. Again, in Cardiff, I did that. I started off a little bit hotter and I was absolutely fine. I managed to pick up a tiny little bit towards the end, because I find the lunges, for example, like I find those quite easy, so I know I can kind of push towards the end. But anyway, my run number 1, I felt really, really strong. I didn't really realise I was going this fast, but I did a 3:39 into a 4:55 ski. I was the first person off the ski. I felt really good going into the second run. The second run was a little bit longer, so the first one was a bit shorter, so I probably was doing about 4-minute pace, maybe closer to like 4:10. So it was a tiny bit faster. Then I did a 4:25 into a 4:08 sled push. There was a lot of speculation about the sled push in Paris, whether it was hard or not. I don't know. It was the new carpet, but to me, I found the sled push okay. I didn't find it any kind of different to usual. I usually do it in about 3:30 on the pro weights anyway. So yeah, it was a bit slower, not gonna lie. But it is what it is. My pull actually felt really good. So my run 3 was 4:58. So obviously, again, maybe a little bit slower, but after the sled push, that's kind of expected. Again, I would rather make up time on my runs where I know I'm going to feel good than, for example, the sled push. I know I'm probably going to come off that a bit slower, just because it is a hard station, because it's heavy, it burns your legs. Into a 4:50 sled push. That was actually sled pull. That was actually quite a good sled pull for me. It was smooth. I did okay in that, and I felt really good coming off that. Into a 4:56. So again, I was picking back up a little bit, and felt really good coming off the sled pull. Into 4:42 burpees. Probably this was when I started to feel a little bit dizzy,
but they were pretty standard for me. I usually do go a little bit quicker on the burpees, especially in open, but that's fine. Run number 5 was a 5:04. Again, probably a little bit too slow for me. This was when I really started to kind of drop off. I got on the rower and I genuinely thought I was going to die. I thought I was going to pass out. I started going completely freezing cold, covered in goosebumps. I started to go really dizzy, seeing black, and I just was like, right, okay, I need to try and get myself together. If I can't get myself together on this rower, then this is where I'm calling it a day. But as I kind of rode and started to kind of get my breath back, do you feel like I felt a little bit better? But it just wasn't. Usually I come off the rower and I feel like I've recovered. I feel like I've literally got a fresh race, but after that rower I did not feel good at all. I literally felt so sick, so dizzy, I barely see. So I got a 5:25 rower, which again is a bit slower than I would usually do. Run number 6 after the rower was okay. It was a 5:05. I tried to pull myself together into the farmer's carry, which was 2:24. I actually really struggle with the farmer's carry on pro. It's very, very heavy. And I don't know, it just really, really mogs me down and makes me really fucking tired, probably just because it's heavy. Then run number 7 after the farmers was a 5:29 into the lunges, which I said, I mean, they're usually pretty good for me. My lunges were pretty good. 3:51, which is pretty good for me, pretty standard. I came quite high up on the lunges, so that's always good. And then my last run was a 5:34 into a wall ball of 5:06. So this is actually probably one of the most interesting things. My wall balls, I actually split into 10s, not by choice, but because my legs genuinely felt like they were going to give in. I was just shaking, my whole body was shaking, I was really struggling. But I broke them into 10s, and actually versus Barca, which I did a 30, a 20, a 20, and maybe like a 15 and a 10 or something like that. Don't check me on the maths with that, it probably didn't even equal 100, but in comparison to that, I actually basically did the same time. I only lost a little bit of time on the wall ball. So actually, because I was dropping it, then just picking it straight back up, instead of dropping it and giving myself like a 30-second rest, I actually feel like going forward, I might try in a better race to do 10s or 15s. I actually just found it a lot easier to kind of move through. And yeah, I got basically the same time. So if I can actually get myself moving a little bit faster on those wall balls, dropping it, you know, every 10-15, I might just try it again. I think sometimes with racing, like there's tactics, there's whatever, it's what works for you. So many people will say to you, yeah, don't go off too hot or blah blah blah. Again, I find it better to go off hotter, and I know loads of people will say that's really stupid, but again, I feel like in the slower stations I then have the opportunity to be able to like make up time in the earlier bits, because for me, the difference between me pulling a ski a little bit faster, a little bit more fatigued, and not fatigued at all is probably not that different, if that makes sense. And my run off the ski is always pretty solid because I find the ski like pretty sound. I'm never like absolutely blowing off the back of the ski. The only thing that I can give as my main advice is use your stations to like be smooth. Like don't try and blitz everything, because ultimately you're going to make so much more time back on the running. Like my running was still pretty quick, even though my stations were not my best, because my running was a little bit quicker. It wasn't as bad as it could have been. So my running was definitely a lot quicker than it was in Barca, which is amazing. It was literally just a case of a few of the stations made me feel a little bit mogged down. And obviously I kind of backed off towards the end, which if I would have kept my pace consistent, which would have been around about like a 4:30, 4:50, anywhere between there, then I would have been well ahead of my PB. And obviously if I hadn't have kind of, like I say, backed off towards the end. But yeah, hindsight is 2020. And I think it's really important to have these kind of races and these reflections where you're like, you know, what could I have done better? I definitely think not traveling. Whoa, I just spilled my coffee everywhere. Oh my God. I definitely think for me, like trying not to travel as much. Again, Cardiff was a really simple process. We drove down, stayed in a hotel one night. We had a half an hour drive to the arena. I had my usual breakfast. I kind of had like a wrap for lunch. It was just, I wasn't under as much pressure or stress. I think that that's one of my biggest issues, is I put a lot of pressure on myself. I make myself really, really stressed, which can hinder your race. As for future race plans, I'm now going to be going to a bit of an endurance block, which I definitely feel like I need. I'm really strong and I'm obviously quite fast. My issue is my endurance is not the best. So I'm going into a bit of an endurance block anyway. I am training for a backyard ultramarathon, which I am slightly regretting signing up for, I'm not going to lie, just because I think that the sheer task of that is going to be very, very physically demanding. And I'm very nervous. So make sure you like and subscribe. So please make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss any of my ultramarathon training updates. I'm going to try and do a little bit more insight into my weeks of training, especially as I go traveling. It's going to be super cool to be able to like try different gyms and try different things and see how I kind of get on with my training routine while I'm traveling. And if there's any kind of things that you want to see while I'm out there in Asia and Dubai, then please make sure to drop them in the comments as well.